Hello friends. Graphic design consists of only two types of objects. The first vector graphic object. And the second is, the raster graphic object. We studied vector graphics for graphic design, in CorelDRAW, in which, you learn to draw perfect lines and shapes. Learn to fill colors, in those shapes. And finally using effects. Now you can draw, a perfect vector graphic object, for graphic design, like this object. We will now start learning, Photoshop for graphic design. But before that, let us see exactly, what is the difference between, a vector graphic object, and a raster graphic object. Try zooming in. Vector graphic objects, have no pixels. Now try zooming in, on this object. You will notice, that the raster graphic objects, contain pixels. Another important thing is, size. I make a duplicate object, of this vector object. I reduced its size. Then increases its size. Again, I reduce its size. And then increased. No matter, how many times, the size of a vector graphic object, is reduced or increased. You can see here. The quality of the object, remains the same. Now, let's change the size of this raster object, in Photoshop. I make a duplicate object, of this raster object. And makes it smaller in size. Then it increases. Reduces. And increases the size again. You can see here. If, the size of the raster graphic object, is made smaller, or larger more often, the quality of that object, will deteriorate. That means, image becomes blurry, and pixelated. Therefore, do not resize, the raster object frequently. Vector, and raster graphic objects. If you understand the main difference, between these two objects. Let's start learning Photoshop, for graphic design. Use any version of old or new Photoshop. Photoshop has a single base. Once you understand the basics of Photoshop, you can comfortably use any version. So don't worry about the version. Understand the basic concept, of Photoshop first. Just go to the File menu, and open, any JPEG image file. Take the Zoom tool, and click anywhere on the image. And zoom in, on the image as much as possible. You can see it here. These small squares of different colors, are called pixels. 1 pixel is 1 color. An image is made up of, a number of pixels of numerous colors, both horizontal and vertical. And this is where, you start learning Photoshop. While studying vector graphics in CorelDRAW, you have studied color charts and color wheels. It will definitely be useful for you, when editing an image, in Photoshop. Now double-click on the Zoom tool. That is, the view of the image, will be actual pixels. When you study colors, you have studied, how each color converts into its highlight, middle tone, and shadow colors. So, it's going to be a lot easier, to learn Photoshop. Because in Photoshop, there is nothing but highlight, middle tone, and shadows. Learning to edit color pixels in highlight, middle tone, and shadows, is like learning Photoshop. We will learn this in more detail later, in color adjustment. But today, at the beginning of Photoshop, we are going to learn 2 most important steps. The first step is to keep at least 4 to 5 photos in a single file. In Photoshop, these are called create layers. Layers are a key feature of Photoshop. The second important thing is to cut out the unwanted part of the photo on each layer. Let's get started. Go to the File menu and create a new file. Select units, inches. Make the width 8 inches. Make the height 6 inches. Set the resolution to 300 pixels per inch. Leave color mode RGB and background white. Now OK. As you can see here, a new blank file has been created. In short, this is a white canvas. Now you need to bring some photos on this canvas. These are palette icons on the right. Let's expand it. Here in the Layers palette, you can see the white background of the new file you created. From now on, we always need to use this layer palette. There are other palettes also, but we will remove those palettes for now. That means you won't be confused. Even you don't need X and Y rulers now. So remove these rulers from the screen. Go to the View menu and off the Rulers menu. Now, open the file of any one of the photos that you want to bring in this file. Go to the File menu and open a photo file. This is the photo you want to bring into the newly created file. To do this, first go to the Select menu and click on All. That means full photo will be selected. You can also select full photo by pressing Ctrl+A. Then go to the Edit menu and copy. Or you can copy with Ctrl+C. Now, go to the File menu and close this file. Or use short key Ctrl+W. Or you can close this File tab here. I close the tab of this file. Now, go to the Edit menu and paste. Or use the short key Ctrl+V. This means that the photo you copied will be pasted into this file. As you can see here, in the Layer palette, that a new layer, called Layer 1, of the pasted photo is created. Now, go to the File menu and save the file. Name the file. I named the file Cutout. File saved as cutout.psd. You may be confused how the photo came to be. But don't worry. The size of this pasted photo is so large that some of it has gone out of frame. We can move it and put it in the frame. To do this, take the Move tool, then click and move the photo, and place it in the frame, as you wish. All you need is a bird in this photo. So, you need to cut the background in this photo. There are several ways to cut out unnecessary parts of a photo. But at the beginning, let's learn a very easy and simple method. I will tell you step by step. You just follow the steps to cut your photo. Select the Polygonal Lasso tool to cut the unwanted part of the photo. Click on New Selection in the options bar. Type feather 1 pixel, and press Enter. Make view of the image 200%. For that, keep clicking Ctrl+, and stop when you find the image view is 200% in the File tab. Press the Tab key on the keyboard to temporarily hide the toolbar, palettes, and options bar. Press the F key on the keyboard once or twice to temporarily hide the menu bar and more. Now, only the image and the cursor of the selected Polygonal Lasso tool will appear on the screen. Now, you want to cut the unwanted part of the image. Hold down the spacebar on the keyboard to scroll the image up, down or sideways. When the cursor of the hand tool appears, scroll the image to the correct position of the frame. Leave the spacebar. The Polygonal Lasso tool cursor appears again. We will now select and cut the unwanted part of the image from the edge of the image. To do this, click anywhere on the edge of the image. Move the cursor aside, and click a short distance on the edge of the image. Click on the edge of the image again, to proceed. By mistake, if you click on the wrong space, press backspace key on the keyboard, then click on edge again, and continue to make selection. After going a little further, come back from outside to the first selection point. When you see a small circle, then click on it. Or, double-click when the cursor is near the first point of selection. Now, a small part of the unwanted part of the image is selected. Press the Delete key on the keyboard to cut this unwanted part. Selected unwanted small part of the image was deleted. And now, from that space, this white part of the background is visible. Now, press Ctrl+D to remove the selection mark. In the same way, you want to remove the unwanted part of the image by selecting it. To scroll the image that has gone out of the screen, press the spacebar. Scroll the image as much as you want. And again select and delete the unwanted part of the image. Delete all unwanted parts of the image, in the same way. After cutting off the unwanted part from the edge of the image, press the Ctrl- key and view the full image frame. Now, select the remaining unwanted part of the image, and delete it. Even if all the unwanted part of the image appear to be deleted, there may still be some part of the image outside the frame. That too has to be deleted. To do this, press the short key, V on the keyboard. The Move tool will be selected. Try moving the image up, down and sideways with the Move tool. There are still unwanted part of the image. Select and delete it too. To do this, press the short key, L on the keyboard. Polygonal Lasso tool will be selected. Now, select and delete the unwanted part of the image. Press short key, V, and move the image. Press short key, L again, select, and delete this unwanted part. Press short key, V again and move image. Press short key L, again, and delete this unwanted part too. Press the short key, V again. Move the image. Press the short key, L, and delete the unwanted part. Finally, press the short key, V again, and try moving the image. Now you can see that the all unwanted part of this image has been deleted. Now, press Tab key, and then F key. This means that temporarily hidden toolbars, palettes, and options bars will now reappear. To understand the concept of layers while learning Photoshop, you need to bring at least 3 to 4 more photos in the same file and cut them. In this same Photoshop file, I want to bring another photo. Let's open the file of that photo. I go to File, Open, select the file, and open it. All I want is a balloon in this photo. For that, I select Rectangular Marquee tool in Tools, and only selects from outside the balloon. Copy by going to the Edit menu, or using the Ctrl+C shortcut key. Now close the file. Now, go to the Edit menu, or use the Ctrl+V shortcut key, and paste the copied balloon into this file. Take a look at the Layers palette here. Above Layer 1, Layer 2 of the balloon appears. Select the Move tool. If the Auto Select checkbox on the options bar is off. Turn it on. Take a look by moving the balloon with the Move tool. The image of the bird is on the lower layer of the balloon. Click on the bird image. Look in the layer palette. Layer 1 of the bird is selected. You can work on the same layer that is selected in the layer palette. Remember this important thing. Now, you want to cut out the photo of the balloon. So click on the image of the balloon. Take a look in the layers palette. Layer 2 of the balloon is selected. While cutting out the photo of the balloon on layer 2, maybe a disturbance of the image on layer 1. So hide layer 1 for now. To do this, click on the eye icon in front of layer 1 in the layer palette. Now as you cut out the bird photo, cut out the entire outside of the balloon in the same way. Select Polygonal Lasso tool. Using shortcut key, Ctrl+. View the image 200%. Press the Tab key, and F key. Slide the image, using the space bar. Select the unwanted part of the image step by step. And delete it. With this method, you want to completely remove the unwanted part from the image of the balloon. When the photo is completely cut out, use the Ctrl- key to fit the image to the screen. Then press Tab and F key to display tools and palettes. Click on the small square icon in front of layer 1 in the Layers palette to reappear the temporarily hidden image on layer 1. The hidden image now appears. With the Move tool, you can place both images wherever you want. We will now put a third photo behind both the cut photos. For that, I go to the file and open a new photo. Select all and copy. Close this photo. Select the background layer in the layer palette to paste the copied third photo behind the two photos. Then go to the Edit menu and paste. This new photo has now arrived in the background. You can change its position if you want. Don't forget to save the file. Go to the File menu and save the file. Or use Ctrl+S. Create a file of 4 to 5 layers by practicing what you learned today. This is where I stop today. We will learn more about layers in the next lesson. Thank you.